Back in the center of Hoi An, back in the rice fields, all the rice has been harvested. Now what I'm doing out here is taking a brief moment to do a video because I wanted to say you can do some serious, and I can't remember what they call it. Is it cloud mining or cloud mining? In any regard, as we get into the rainy season, which will begin shortly, there's a huge, one of the first of what they say will be 10 storms that will enter the central Vietnam area this rainy season. And of those 10 storms, one will be arriving in about 12 hours. Tropical depression is what they call it. Excuse me, which means basically this thing's gonna come in and it's just gonna sit there. And it'll rain for like a week. But anyways, October is one of the rainiest months in Hoi An. And it will rain every day. Here, check this out by the mountain back here. Nice cloud formation there over the top of the mountain. And then I'll pan around a little. Here, swaths of rain back there. So they're getting a lot of rain back there. Probably 100, 150 kilometers maybe. Because you know I'm standing in the sun. But yeah, great cloud mining out here. Now this back here is part of the formation of that huge storm that's headed this way. It's gonna roll in here big time. But you do get some glorious cloud formations out here, which I love. And there's enough space out here, which, when I moved out here, retired out here, I was like, you know, you gotta have adequate space. There's a jet up there. Now, I don't know, I'm able to distinguish between these small cadre of fighter jets, which Vietnam has. Vietnam has, I think, some F-15s maybe, or F-16 Tomcats, but they got this awesome greenish blue color, like this aquamarine color, which is really freaking awesome. One buzzed me down the beach several months ago, which was like totally freaking cool. And at that elevation that I just saw him, that was probably, it might have been 50,000 feet. See, now here's another jet. See if I can zoom in on it. That looks like a Bamboo Airways jet. I'm starting to, excuse me. I'm starting to be able to distinguish, well, not starting to, I can distinguish the colors between the commercial airliners that fly around out here. Speaking of which, we're headed to Sapa. It's gonna be my wife, who's lived in Vietnam all her life, and my first ever trip to Sapa. Now they say October is a really good month to visit Sapa, so we'll be leaving in about 10 days. And we'll be spending a week there. And of course, There's a lot. Sapa's famous for its mountains and terraced rice fields, higher elevation, gorgeous trekking. Gorgeous trekking, gorgeous views. I mean, it's going to be incredible. Now, like you're seeing here. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they completed the rice harvest. And you got these idiot Western tourists coming out here riding bicycles through the rice fields here. Now, if you've seen other vlogs of mine, when the rice is high and it's golden brown and it's about to be harvested and it fills these fields, it's absolutely a stunning sight. But now, no, it's not. It's just, it's grass and field now. This is all chaff. We've gotten some pretty good rain lately, so you've got a lot of flooding here in the rice fields. They're just all flooded out. There will not be, because it's the rainy season followed by the winter season, there won't be another harvest until probably January, the beginning of the year. 3 harvest seasons or 3 harvest plantings per year annually out here. Begins in January. Each season lasts about 3 months, and then they take a break because you can't plant the rice when it's flooded out and it's just too much rain. And then it gets cooler and it's just temps and everything. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for thousands of years. But anyways, I digress. There's nothing to see here. These idiots have missed the harvest. They missed the beautiful, glorious rice field views. These jackasses are still coming out here. So we're going to Sapa for a week. We're doing it 5-star, first class all the way, of course. We're staying at the most iconic, incredible, fantastic, just received a World Hotel Award recently from World Travel Magazine, the Hotel de la Capule. It's French, so I can't really pronounce it. This thing is an amazing, amazing hotel. It's like world renowned for its architecture, its beauty, its art decorations. It's gonna be fucking amazing. And I will do some vlog. Well, I'm gonna do vlog like freaking crazy out there in Sapa. So we're hoping to do 3 treks during the week that we'll be out there. And the trekking there is world renowned. And we're really excited about it. We're really looking forward to it. And the trekking is I forgot what they said. It's 6 hours, 10 miles, 10 to 15 miles, on a day trip. Now, a lot of these backpackers, a lot of these broke dick Western tourists come out and they trek around, which is cool. All right, I'm not going to deny it's not cool to put a backpack on your back and just trek through the northern area of Vietnam, through Hoi An and Sapa and Lokai, and just get around and stay at, you can stay at local villagers' homes, and, you can get a pretty decent, you can get a freaking awesome cultural experience out there. I just hate the fact that it's just these douchebag Western tourists that, the majority of them are doing it. They're not going to be staying at the Hotel de la Capule. They're not going to spend, $2,000, $3,000 on a 1-week trip to Sapa. these fucktards will go out there, and try to scrounge through Sapa for 30 days, on $200-300, the low rent roaches. That's why I despise them. That's why I can't stand them. And that's why I always go off into these tangents and into these rants regarding Western tourists. Because if you live in the West, if you are an American or a European and you got your head screwed on straight, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Western culture and society has gone right into the toilet. People are bullshit now in the West. And they come out here and I'm like, man, I came out here to get the fuck away from you assholes. Tangent aside, we're really excited about the Sapa trip. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be grand. It's just going to be amazing. And yeah, we'll probably see a lot of tourists out there, but that's okay. This is one of these trips where I can kind of let that roll off my back. We are going to schedule private trekking tours, of course, to get the fuck away and go off the beaten path and away from the, Sapa has a lot of treks which take you through, through a gamut of tourist, ready-made tourist kind of things where they try to sell you shit and they bother you while you're trekking. The local Hmong tribal, and there's several different tribes out there, will bother you while you're on the road. Like you'll be trekking down a road, it's like a muddy kind of mountainous kind of road. Well, maybe not muddy. And they'll be walking alongside you, and their English is pretty good from what I understand. And they'll just harangue you. They'll walk with you for hours. And they're like, this is, they'll give you like a little bit of a, cultural lesson, cultural talk about the area and blah, 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 but they're trying to sell you some shit. And we don't want that, the wife and I. And we don't want to be trekking along with a dozen or so Western tourist douchebag foreigners. So we're going to try very hard to schedule some private treks with a local guide that can take us off the beaten path so we don't have to see any of that chicken shit stuff. Any way you slice it, it's beautiful. Even if she and I were to go with a group, we would hang far behind. We may even do some self-treks if it's possible. Now, you have to visit Sapa, honestly, probably 2 or 3 times to really get familiar with the lay of the land. I know that they have maps that you can do some self-trekking just right out of Sapa town. I don't know if we can gain enough wisdom, knowledge, and experience before, this way we're going to do tours. So, but we're going to try to do it off the beaten path. We're going to try to do private tours, with a local guide that knows the area, that can take us around and show us some things that are not on the beaten tourist paths, which there are typical, decades old tourist trekking paths that they sucker all the tourists in and just herd them like cattle through these tours, these treks. Sometimes they include spending the night in a local person's house, or having lunch with a local family from the area. We're not interested in that. We just want to take some beautiful walks with a local guide, and I'm making inquiries as to that now. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be probably. Now, when I went to Hue City, that was a fantastic trip. We went to Dalat. We thought that was a great trip. We've been to Vung Tau, Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, and a few other places I can't recall. But this one is going to be huge. And this is travel time, because we've sat around a while going through lockdowns and blah, 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 and all kind of bullshit. So, it hit me. It's like we wife and I got comfortable. We have a great life here. Hoi An is a beautiful place to live. And we're just having this really great life here. So we're just enjoying each other's company. I told you in other vlogs, I fish a lot. I ride the bicycles a lot. I got the e-bike now. She does her thing. She's got a bicycle now. We do bike rides together. You know, we're just living a idyllic, fantastic, wonderful lifestyle. And so we got a little bit complacent, to be quite honest, and now we're going to ramp it up. We're going to do some serious traveling. So after Sapa, I'm looking at Ha Long Bay. We're looking at a trip back to Ninh Binh. We only took a day trip there to go to the little boat ride through Tam Kuk, and look at the karsks, and it was a beautiful little day trip. But we thought Ninh Binh was fantastic. We want to go back out there for several days, rent some bicycles, rent a motorbike, get around there. That's a beautiful area. Where else? Oh, and then we want to do the Mekong River. We want to do the Mekong Delta. And we want to go back to Phu Quoc Island, which is a favorite spot of ours. And then there are several other places that she mentions that I'm unfamiliar with that she wants to check out. And I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it. So we're going to be traveling often through the rainy season and through the quote-unquote winter season. And the winter season is like December and then January, February. Kind of gets really cool and drab. So we're going to travel a lot, try to follow the sun a little bit, head south. And that's that. Yeah, that rain is coming in, and I'm hoping to go back home, grab a bite to eat, and come back out and do some fishing. I've had very little success in the last couple of weeks. And that's due to weather and several other factors that I won't bore you with. But yeah, gotta keep coming out, gotta keep trying. It's funny what they have these carts that they'll strap to the back of a motorbike and transport shit. Oh, let me just say this real quick before I go. Tourism has wound down now, and this is part of the reason. This is not the time to come out to Vietnam. Of course, a lot of nitwits still will. But it is going to wind down because we are getting into the rainy season, then we are going to get into the winter season. And so that's good. We'll see less tourists for a while. Okay, so